or at
Yeah.
least less stressful.
Yeah, actually, for anybody who's listening who may not have heard of her, there's a lady called Nadia Zeksembayeva who goes on at great length.
Bless you.
Yeah, she goes on at great length about reinvention. She talks about reinvention rather than innovation because people have hijacked the term innovation. But she has a system of planning, and it's not an exact system of planning. Your strategy, your end point could be we want to increase profits by 10% plus or minus 5% next year. So everything has got tolerances on it, but you have regular reviews like you might do with some of the more agile things. But as long as you're meeting your key targets, you can still build this, I suppose, slightly wobbly tower and make progress in the future. Otherwise, you just stop doing things. And I suggest if people are interested, they have a look at the Reinvention Society, maybe buy a book or look at her videos because it's interesting.
And there's something we do, and I've heard of quite a lot, which builds on that for even things like key performance indicators or personal development plans and all of that kind of jazz. You go in to see your boss, and the boss says, "What are your ideas for the next 5 years or next year?" And you've got 5 of them, and you go, "Well, right." And it counts as a victory the next year if you have achieved any 3 of those 5, because that gives you something to aim for. And it gives you that wiggle room so that if you can't manage that one because, I don't know, you've had a car crash and you can't walk for 3 weeks or something, you can make progress on the others. I'm being facetious about it, but it's the blurriness, the flexibility comes in any 3 out of 5 or any 4 out of 7, or if you see what I mean.
And for those who are into EQ and empowerment and all the rest of it, it's doing exactly that. People can make their own decisions.
Yeah. So there's a friend of mine, a guy called Jeff Nicholson, who talks about, well, he has a whole system for this, but he talks a lot about improving self, health, wealth, yada, yada. He's got a whole checklist that makes a really sexy acronym. If you try and make progress on all of those things in a year, you are completely, you're hiding to nothing. But it's been a successful year if you have improved 4 of the 7, for example. I mean, so long as the other 3 haven't gone hysterically backwards, progress on 4 out of 7 and the other 3 have held the same, that still counts as a win. It doesn't matter which of those you do. So the next year, you might work on a different 4 out of the 7. Obviously, 4 out of 7 means there will be at least one overlap.
There will be an overlap somewhere.
Yes, mathematically, yes, there will be at least one overlap, but you get the point I'm trying to make.
So the burning question then is, unless we're sort of very, very keen, that's what we do in our home lives. We don't say, "Oh, I'm going to decorate the lounge, I'm going to decorate the kitchen, and this, that, and the other, and I'm going to change the engine on the car and do the garden and expect to have it all done." So why on earth do we do it in the workplace?
I don't know. I have a horrible suspicion it's because we do that because everybody else does that, and everybody else is doing that because we're doing that, which brings me back to this idea of putting innovation and creativity, that's the keyword creativity, into a system that can sit inside businesses that think like that.